Hey, it's Shahara. Welcome back to my channel, To The Witchy Reader. So this video is a bit late. I'm filming it on the 4th. It may come out tonight. I'll probably not accept edit, and that's a lot of work. I'm going to try to get it out tomorrow. But I'm going to talk about my June TBR. There's no wrap-up this month because I read literally nothing last month. I was so hyper-focused on writing, and I literally wrote nonstop the entire month to finish my book, and I did. Thankfully, it's done. The ebook is out for pre-order. It will be released June 10th. The ebook, paperback, and hardcover will all be released June 10th, and it is the sequel to my last published novel, The Realm of Monsters, and this is called The Vampire's Creation. Lots of peer representation, perfect for Pride Month, and I do want to finish the indie books that I have been meaning to read. Not last month, but the month before, I had started the Warriors of Bria series. I read book 1 and started book 2, but then I didn't finish it by the end of the month, and then last month, like I said, I wanted to focus on writing because I wanted to finish that book, and I'm not even kidding when I said I read zero. I read zero things. Um, that's probably I I mean even on like months where I don't read as much, I usually read at least one or two things, but I literally read nothing because I was focused on writing. Um but yeah. So but I want to read things for Pride Month. So my indie books, because I have the rest of the Warriors Breed to finish, the ones that are out. I own all the books except for the last one, which the fifth book has not come out yet. And then I have two art copies I need to read that I want to focus on next month. Or one of them I actually might read this month because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of queer representation in it. Um, and then yeah, and then I want to read. Actually, I got a new book. Want to talk. I want to like be like, hey, I got a new book, but sadly, I don't have enough to do a whole video on a book haul. But I have a new book I just bought, B by Ellie Lieberman, and I'm so excited for this one. And I definitely want to read it next month. My indie reading vlog will come out eventually. I want to finish reading all the ebooks I own or have the art copy of. So, um, yeah. And then, so I'm going to focus on finishing my indie books next month. But for this month, for Pride, I want to focus on books with LGBTQIA plus representation. Sadly, I don't actually have that much. Well, I mean, I have books I still haven't read, which I've been meaning to, but I don't know if there's any LGBTQIA plus representation. I probably won't know until I read it. But if you guys know of any fantasy with any sort of queer representation, especially if it's like a side role, like it's like normalized and they don't make a whole huge big deal about it. It's just like a person comes up, a guy will come up and be like, hey, this is my boyfriend. Girl will come up, hey, this is my girlfriend. That kind of thing. But fantasy, because I feel like queer representation is not in fantasy that often, sadly. At least the ones that I seem to find. Um, but I write a lot of fantasy with lots of queer representation, so you can always check out my books. I'll link my Amazon page in the description. But moving on to the books I plan to read this month for Pride Month. Um, some will be rereads because I do own a few books that I've read that have queer representation. The ones here and then Percy Jackson has some, obviously. Well, it's not really mentioned in the first five books, but it does get a little bit into it with a side character in the sequel series, Heroes of Olympus. So yeah. Um, but yeah, so I plan to reread Hocus Pocus and the all new sequel because um, Pop, Poppy, who is Max and Allison's daughter, um, is a lesbian. She has a crush on this girl Isabella, and they're so cute, and I really like Poppy's character and Isabella's character, and they are really cute. Um, I did not like the sequel movie they made. I had doubts the moment I heard they were not following this book because I got so sad because this book is so good and that movie was just so boring and the characters were not interesting and the Sanderson sisters were so, at least Winnie was like, I don't know, not Winnie, I don't know. Um, but I don't know. I couldn't. I only watched it once, and I felt like it was boring and tedious, and they should have followed the book. So if you're a fan of Hocus Pocus and have not read this book yet, I highly recommend it. It is so good, like so good. I am in love with it. So yeah, definitely check this out if you have not. But yeah, so I plan to read this. Then I also plan to reread Six of Crows. I have reread this not that long ago, so I didn't plan to do another reread. But like I said, I really wanted to read LGBTQIA plus books. Um, it was kind of recently, yeah, cause I reread it like just before I think it might have been the end of last year or something. No, I don't remember when season two came out now, cause I read this shortly before season two came out. But yeah, but it's never not a good time to read this because this is one of my favorite books I've ever read. Um, there's in the sequel, obviously, Crooked Kingdom, so I plan to read them because they're really good. And uh, I love my favorite couple in all of the Grishaverse is Jesper and Wylan, and they're just so adorable. I love them. And Jesper is bisexual, Wylan is gay, and Nina is also bisexual. Um, so yeah, uh, also queer representation. And what I love is just is so normalized. Like Nina and Jesper both flirt with pretty much anyone. Like they don't care. They just flirt with anybody. I'm not even kidding. Um, and then when Jesper and Wyland started having uh like crushes on each other, it wasn't made to be a big deal. Like they were just two people who had fallen in love, and I absolutely love that. Same with Hocus Pocus and the Only sequel because Isabella was just talking to her best friend Travis when he made comment about her crush who walked by, which is just happens to be a girl, but that wasn't a big thing. The big thing was that her crush walked by, and I just love it. Um, I don't have my phone with me, but I have the audiobook of the first Magnus Chase books. I plan to read the Magnus Chase books. And I heard that Magnus Chase was somehow queer, so I looked it up, and what I found said he was pansexual. So nice because it's very hard to find pansexual representation, just like it's hard to find ace and arrow representation. But my MC in my current series is pansexual, just to let everyone know. So if you want pansexual character, there you go. But yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this, just because from what my friend told me, most of the characters aren't in it at all, except for Annabeth makes a short appearance because they are related. I think she said they were like distant cousins or something. So yeah, so I'm a little nervous about it because of that, but I'm hoping I'll still like it. I also want to try and see if I can read a Charles Paul. I want to see if I can get the audiobooks this month. On Libby as well, cause I'm not entirely sure what trials Apollo's that is like. I know that Apollo has to go through trials. Obviously, it's right in the name, but like I'm pretty sure Nico and Will have a pretty big role. I might be wrong, and they are obviously gay. So I don't know. I guess I'll find out. But yeah, I really want to read that. I'm a little more excited to read Charles Paulo than Magnus Chase because I already love Nico and Will, and I really want to see them and any other characters in my show. And but I do still plan to read Magnus Chase first, actually, so because I have the first audiobook already, and yeah, and and then one of my ARC copies I have the Mantis variant I want to read. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of queer representation. I'm friends with the author on Twitter, and he does like queer representation all the time. Um, just like me. So, and it's horror, I believe. So I'm excited to delve into that. So I want to read that. And yeah, so those are the books I plan to read this month. Like I said, I'm gonna get back into doing my indie books that I want to finish reading because those are at the top of my TBR, the indie books that I own and have the art copies of. I will eventually get the ones that are still on my TBR. I just do not own them yet. Eventually, but the ones that I do own are on the top of my list. So I definitely want to read those next month. And hey, if I finish these books this month, depending on how well my reading has gone, because I haven't actually read yet this month, but I do plan to start the Mac and Cheese book probably tomorrow. So depending on how my reading goes this month, if I finish these books, then I might um start on another one of the indie books. The indie book I'll probably start on is either the art copy or Warriors of Bria, just because I've started Warriors of Bria and I have the art copy of it, so I might as well read it. But I am excited for this one. This is one of my most anticipated books, so yeah. But thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment what you plan to read for June if you're reading for Pride like I am. I'll talk to you guys next time.